You're looking at live pictures from Monterey Park right now in Los Angeles County, a community in shock after a mass shooting left 10 people dead during a Lunar New Year celebration. Right now, we've just learned a man inside a van that was searched in connection to the mass shooting is dead. NBC sources say authorities believe that man is the shooter and died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Here's what else we know at this hour. The LA County Sheriff says the shooting at the Star Ballroom dance studio left 10 dead, 5 men and 5 women. At least 10 other people are injured. About 30 minutes later, a man with a gun entered another ballroom in nearby Alhambra, but people there were able to wrestle the gun away before the man took off. Officials are now saying those two incidents are connected. Authorities say in both cases, the gunman was described as an Asian man. We have live team coverage for you tonight. Lizzie Mitri is in Sacramento with local reaction to the shooting. But first, we want to start with KCRA 3's Brittany Hope. She is live in Monterey Park with the very latest. Brittany, what have you learned so far?
Hi, Andrea. So right now we are waiting to get an update from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. We were supposed to receive that update at 4:30, but of course this is an incredibly active investigation. It hasn't even been a whole day since this is all unfolded, so they're working to put a lot of those pieces together right now. If we do in fact hear from the Sheriff's Department during this newscast, we will be sure to bring you that update live. For now, though, again, we are live here in Monterey Park in the heart of this community, and we're just about a block away from that ballroom. At this point, this is really the closest that law enforcement is allowing us to get here because that investigation is happening. And we did see just before this live hit, we saw the FBI walk by. We know there are multiple jurisdictions here on the scene trying to piece together all of this. But in this context, it is so important to talk about the role of Monterey Park, not only the role it plays in eastern Los Angeles, but really in the entire United States. This is a historically Asian American community, and you can see behind me some of those businesses here. Many of the people who live here, the businesses here, speak Chinese and Mandarin. It's a city of about 60,000 people, and about 65% of the city's population is Asian American. Again, it is located on the eastern edge of Los Angeles and is made up of mostly Asian immigrants from China or first-generation Asian Americans. Again, this shooting happened right here in the heart of its downtown, where red lanterns and signs have been decorating the streets for the Lunar New Year's festivities. Officials with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department say there are 3 different scenes in this investigation. And where we are right now, Monterey Park, is the first of those 3 scenes. That is where officials say that gunman walked into the dance studio, shot and killed 10 people, and shot and injured at least 10 other. There's also a second scene, and that scene is just 2 miles away from here, right on Garfield Avenue as well. You just take it all the way down. That's in Alhambra, where apparently that gunman tried to open fire on another dance room there as well. But according to reports from officials, people inside of that studio were able to disarm that man, and he fled. That leads us to the 3rd scene that is happening in Torrance, California. That's about 30 minutes away from here, more toward the coast. And that is where law enforcement are looking at a white van that they say is connected to these multiple incidents. Now, again, we are hearing reports and sources are telling NBC that the person inside that van is the man accused in these mass shootings. And we are hearing right now reports that that man is dead. We are still waiting to get that confirmation from law enforcement. We are hoping to get that as soon as the Sheriff's Office reveals that information to us. Now, we do want to show you an image of that suspect. He is identified as an Asian American man who weighed about 150 pounds and was about 5'10". Again, at this point, officials say they are not naming the suspect. The Sheriff's Office was pressed as to why, and they said they were doing that out of the safety of the investigation. At this point, still looking into a motive. There were questions about if this was domestic violence related, if this was hate crime related. At this point, the Sheriff's Department is not revealing any of that information. He said it is just too early, but you have to look at the facts here. You see a man who went into a ballroom and shot at least 20 people at this point. Looking at some more scene video, this is seen from Torrance, Alhambra, and right here in Monterey Park. A little bit more about the gun that we learned from the Sheriff's Office as well. They said the gunman did not use a high-powered assault rifle. At this point, he didn't reveal what that gun or that firearm was, but at this point, that is all they were revealing. They also couldn't say if there was more than one weapon involved. Now, back out here live, we are hearing from residents here in Monterey Park. Again, it is a small-knit city. Many people who live here say this is usually a quiet area. It's incredibly close-knit, and they just can't believe that this happened here in their home. Take a listen.
it's normally like very family oriented, like more like businesses and families. It's not gang infested at all. But we're shocked to hear that that it's happening here, and it can happen anywhere. But yeah.
And from residents to elected officials, Governor Gavin Newsom is also speaking out today. He tweeted this morning, and we have that on your screen. He said Monterey Park should have had a night of joyful celebration of the Lunar New Year. Instead, they were the victims of a horrific and heartless act of gun violence. Our hearts mourn as we learn more about the devastating acts of last night. We are monitoring the situation closely. President Joe Biden said he is also tracking the latest updates from East Los Angeles. In a tweet, he said, quote, "Jill and I are praying for those killed and injured in last night's deadly mass shooting in Monterey Park. I'm monitoring the situation closely as it develops, and I urge the community to follow guidance from local officials and law enforcement in the hours ahead." Now, here on the ground, we are working to learn more about the ballroom where the shooting took place. Earlier this morning, Congresswoman Judy Chu was here on the ground. She has lived here for about 37 years. Before her time in Congress, she served as mayor of this community. She was on the city council, so she knows it well. And she was describing the ballroom here in Monterey Park. She said it's a place where people go to socialize and a place also where people go to exercise. She said she had been there herself. And again, she lives here and was at the Lunar New Year festivities on this block before the shooting happened here late last night. Now, police say this is the Star Ballroom Dance Studio located again in the heart of Monterey Park. We're going to show you some video of that so you can see. This is where a Lunar New Year celebration was being held when that gunman showed up and started firing off rounds. The business offers dance lessons from tango to rumba to the foxtrot, and it rents out its space for different events. Now, yesterday, its website said the ballroom was hosting an event called Star Night from 8 to 11:30 p.m. For some more context, the celebration here for Lunar New Year in Monterey Park is one of the biggest in our state. The festival attracted tens of thousands throughout its first day yesterday, so its first day was on Saturday. In previous years, this two-day festival has brought in at least 100,000 visitors. Now, at this point today, where I'm standing right now, this should have been the site of the second day of this Lunar New Year celebration, but the city, of course, as you can see, decided to cancel the rest of those celebrations for now.